had multiple interviews in your career that you've been on my show. We really want to talk about something exciting for you. And that's where I want to really talk about your latest project. When you think about it, a lot of times, Don, we look at the past, some of our career and what we were successful, but our biggest, newest child is our new thing, right? And that's what some people don't understand when we get on. We're more excited to talk about what's the latest thing going on with us than our past sometimes.
Well, that's very true. But if we didn't have a hot past, we wouldn't be talking about anything, I suppose. You've got to you got to have things that people care about. Otherwise, you fade away. And it's
Yeah.
very easy, especially in this business. In the old days, if you made an album and it didn't sell, you maybe got a chance to make one more, and then you were sent to the showers. You know what I mean? You were done. So yeah, I've been so fortunate and made many albums. And the thing about it is that all of them add up to a big story. Each one is a chapter, and I see it that way because I don't write songs just to be entertaining. I write some songs to be just entertaining, but I always like to have a kind of a point of view on each record, and somehow I don't know how I do it, but come up with a dozen songs that somehow work together. Maybe I'm in the same frame of mind for a while, and I'm able to put this stuff together. But Botanical Gardens is an album I made before this one, and there's a lot of nice songs on there. I have no idea where they came from. And this one has a bunch of really nice songs on there. Again, they're all different. And once I get started, I think Keith Richards is so interesting. He said, if I get 3 songs, I got an album. That's what he said. Because, you get that thing going where you've got a nucleus is something, and then it's calling to you. So, okay, what are you going to do next? You know what I mean? Because you got to finish this thing.
No,
So
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
that
Totally.
effort, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the thing what I was saying is, but see, Don, it's all about our brand. Once we have something that puts us on the map in some sort of way, then people will listen. Now you come up with this new album, American Boys. What do you think your fans are going to like most about this album?
It rocks. It's more of a rocking record than I think I've ever made before. It's got a lot of edge to it. It's also got a whole variety of different songs on it as usual, but it all kind of fits together. There's a swinging recitation on this with an upright bass called Vacant Luxury, which I think is a very interesting concept that I had, and it really runs down a lot of what we've been through before the pandemic, after the pandemic, the people's behavior, and what's happened. And also, I think it relates well to the fact that everything you see now is about billionaires, billionaires and the biggest house and the big, 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 you know what I mean? And it's really kind of trashy, I think.
Right.
Louis Armstrong lived in the same house all his life in Brooklyn somewhere. It was a nice little frame house, and it was a lot of energy. And Pete Seeger lived in a cabin, which he made himself, and it was a beautiful thing. I know this big thing all the time is very empty, so therefore you have vacant luxury because a lot of these people have 10 homes and they're never in them. So
100%.
that's one song. There's a lot of other things on there, but that's just one I thought I'd mention.
That's one that's interesting you mentioned because it's true. What we do in social media is we either are going to feel like, oh God, I'm glad I'm not that person, or I wish I was that person. And everything that's on TV and all the different things is there gloom and doom, or I wish I could be that person. And I think that
Yeah,
kind of leads to what your song is telling is no, be happy with who you are.
Well, I think we're also been pimped out in this country too. Wearing these iced out watches, for $1 million. What is that? I mean, since when did some of these companies now are doing this ridiculous, ugly stuff? And I don't particularly think that's very tasteful. But I think really good taste is basically going down the tubes. I mean, it's just more and better and bigger. Like Beyonce has a $200 million house. Well, I've been in houses like that, and you don't know who else is in that house. Let me tell you, it's not all that comforting.
Oh boy.
I like to know who's in my house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think 5,000, 6,000 square feet is plenty, And,
I mean, you're saying there's going to be a big familia in that house. It's not just going to be a couple people alone, meaning different people always coming in and out.
No, I say you don't know if anybody's there in another room who's going to do you wrong. I mean, you don't know who's getting in. There's also it's a security nightmare. And like 50 Cent was on TV, and my agent represents him. He's a pretty smart guy. He got Mike Tyson's 30,000 square foot house. He said, I sold that thing. It said way too big. I didn't know who's lurking around in there.
Well, again, we're watching and everyone's selling now, Don, as I saw today on the news. I try to ignore the news, but today I got flooded with those things. But that song definitely will get people thinking about, hey, you know what? I don't have to be that, because that's what people are. Everyone is wishing they could be someone else instead of trying to say they have their story. They have their story to tell. And that's it.
That's a major way to be unhappy. That is a major way to be unhappy. Now, when I was a kid, I wanted to be Buddy Holly. I wanted to be Pete Seeger. I wanted to be Josh White. I wanted to be Elvis Presley. But it dawned on me as I grew older that there wasn't Elvis Presley. They didn't need me. You're never going to. That is a major way to be unhappy. You have to find who you are, and that's obvious, of course. But it's the unhappiness. By never, ever, ever compare yourself to anybody else, because they don't have your talents. And okay, so people, have you seen? I mean, Kanye West was a billionaire. He went on television and made some inappropriate remarks. He lost $1.5 billion in one day.
Isn't it crazy?
So you see how quickly the
cancel culture
evaporates.
Yeah, think about Peloton is down 90%. Imagine if you're the CEO of that company. There's a lot of different things out there, as I was talking about before, buying and selling. Enjoy your life, love your life, live it to the fullest like you do, Don. And that's all that you can do at the end of the day.
Well, there's a song on this record called Marley's Song. And the chorus and it's taken really from the Christmas Carol, the movie. Save yourself, whispered Marley, while you still have the time. Save yourself, whispered Marley. Your chains are much longer than mine. Your chains are much longer than mine. This is the only time you have while you're breathing to make a difference in people's lives. To waste your time trying to be like somebody else is to waste this precious opportunity that you have to help people, to love people, to guide people, if you can, in a nice way, in the right direction, maybe. That's how I see it. And I'm getting very old now. I'm coming to the end of the trail. I see this more and more.
You get it, Don. People can go right now, purchase your album on May 17th. American Boys coming up May 17th. Appreciate it, Don. And you're amazing.
Thank you.
It was a great conversation. Take care, man.
Thank you.
All right. You're listening to Watch